Cancer, Sun, Moon and Rising. Here is your tarot reading for not the week ahead. I was about to say it, but it's not. It's for the Aries season. We've slightly switched things up. If you aren't up to date with that, then you can go and check out the channel update in the video library as to find out why we've moved these to seasonal. So this is your reading to cover all of Aries season. But as ever, take what's helpful, leave what isn't, and use the messages to fit into your life rather than trying to get your life to fit around the messages. As ever, be sure to like, hit subscribe and the notification bell to stay updated. You can also check the pinned comment below and follow those directions to receive email notifications straight to your inbox on when these Tarotscopes are coming out. And as ever, be sure to leave either an emoji or a comment below too. So I could summarize this reading almost in one sentence. It would be a bit dull if I stopped there, so I will carry on beyond that. But there are false starts and then there are starts here. It's a little bit of a feeling, and I'll explain why this is coming through in the cards. There's a little bit of stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. It reminds me a bit of a car that's sputtering into life, and we're trying to get the ignition going, and it promises to. It makes the right noises, but then just at the moment it seems to be gaining momentum. It seems to stop, so we reignite it and get it moving forward. It doesn't matter. That may sound a bit, it might make you feel a little bit crestfallen. It's like, oh great, can't wait for Aries season. Aries is obviously the first house of the zodiac signs, so it is new beginnings. It indicates the fire, the ignition, the drive, the motivation that is required to get something off the ground. So the great news is that you are capitalizing on that energy this season, Cancer. It will see you trying new things, having new ideas, putting them forward, particularly feeling inspired, feeling quite creative. And we have here the Ace of Swords and the Magician. The Ace of Swords slap bang in the middle of your reading and the Magician at the end of your reading. And these are both governed by the number 1, as is the House of Aries. So there's a definite overlap here. And these are in some ways conflicting energies. You may have heard me say to... can't remember off the top of my head now, but the 10 of Wands appeared. I think it was Leo or Sagittarius, but you may have heard me say that in the center of my 2025 reading, I had the 10 of Wands upright and the 10 of Wands reversed, an indication that things are going to be effortful and a bit of a struggle, but at the same time, I'm going to be able to release some of those burdens too. And there's a similar kind of contradictory or paradoxical energy coming through with the Ace of Swords, because the Ace of Swords is about new ideas, new ways of thinking. It's also the card of channeling, the strikes of inspiration, the moments of, that's how I should do it, that's how I should approach it. And the Magician, if it was that way upright, would be very much cementing that energy, galvanizing that energy of those strikes of inspiration. The fact that it's upside down indicates these energies that I was talking about, that stop-start energy. So don't be surprised, therefore, if you have these strikes of inspiration. That's what I meant to do. That's the way to approach it. That feels good and right and inspiring. And then you go to do it and it doesn't seem to land quite right. Now, we know that the journey to success isn't a straight line. There are stops and starts. There are things that you pick up and put down. There are things that we get inspired about and think are the best idea ever. And then we go to actualize it. And that is what the Magician represents. It represents thought being actualized into matter. And through that process, we can sometimes realize this maybe wasn't as brilliant an idea as I'd liked, or Actually, I want to do it, but I need to figure out the best way, the right way for that to come through. This is not to say by any means, Cancer, that you shouldn't act upon those moments, those flashes of inspiration. Quite the reverse. You should be moving forward. We have, in combination with the Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, and the pages and the aces are pretty much the same thing. They are both the beginning of the suits from 1 to 10 and the royals from page to king. So we have these new beginnings, these new seeds being planted. And the trick here this month is, how are you going to navigate some of those seeming disappointments, or how are you going to navigate those ideas that you're really impassioned about, and those strikes of inspiration, but they don't seem to formulate or materialize or manifest in the way that we'd hoped or anticipated. It doesn't mean we give up. That is absolutely the worst thing for you to do in Aries season. Aries season Aries by nature has the ability to push through. There's a reason that it's the fiery ram. It has the horns to break through some of those barriers that may present itself. And that is very much the feeling here. We have the Fool in reverse right at the beginning of your reading. So they're very well likely to be feelings here of can't be bothered. The Fool typically is the beginning of an adventure. It's the Fool's journey. It is Frodo leaving the Shire. It is Dorothy entering into the land of Oz. It is Harry Potter going to Hogwarts. It's that initial, that initiation. And initiation is such a brilliant word for you this month, Cancer. It is all about you initiating things, getting things off the ground, trying things, new ideas, new approaches, planting new seeds. But you may feel, particularly at the beginning, you may feel that I don't even want to get off the starting block. There's a moment, if we use Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf gives Frodo the ring and says, you need to leave, you need to go to Mount Doom. Had Frodo turned around and said, no, I can't be bothered, he wouldn't have had the adventure that he did. If Dorothy refused to follow the Yellow Brick Road and say, no, I'm staying here in Munchkiller Land, again, she wouldn't have made the friends, she wouldn't have had those experiences, she wouldn't have gone through that process of enlightenment. And that is very... So don't get despondent. This is something I've been saying to a few of the star signs, particularly when things seemingly aren't going your way. You may find that you're having to fire a few bullets until you hit something, but that's okay too. And really, really pay attention to those strikes of inspiration, particularly if they're pointing you into the direction of something new. Even if you can't act upon them straight away, you can at least note them down and think, okay, that's a really good idea. Maybe I come back to that later. What's really nice to see is you've got the Wheel of Fortune here. So quite a lot of major arcana coming up here, and thankfully the Wheel of Fortune is the upright card. Typically when we have lots of major arcana, it's indicative of quite big energies playing out in your house, so it's not going to be a quiet month by any means. It's going to look most likely quite different, and there are going to be in some ways endings and beginnings. Without beginnings can't happen without endings. And the Wheel of Fortune is always a reminder of what goes up must come down. So even in those times that we are feeling frustrated and are feeling as though we're slightly banging our heads against the wall, it is a reminder, well, this isn't going to be this way always. And just when we're starting to turn the wheel, so to speak, and starting that new chapter, you're going to have to hit that apex, that top of the mountain where there is that last bit of struggle until things become more easeful the other side. Understanding that everything within nature is of a cyclical stance. So being able to roll with those punches. There is here, just finally, with the magician. The magician has the 4 suits in front of him: the sword, the cup, the pentacle, and the wands, the 4 suits of the tarot. And similarly, we have the 4 points of the tarot spelt there, and we also have the 4 building blocks of the universe or of humans as well, which I believe sulfur, salt, water, and fire, something like that. If you know, put it in the comments below. But it's just a reminder for you of, you can manifest whatever you want to manifest. You can be the magician. And just because that doesn't happen immediately, or there are setbacks, this is a reminder not to allow that to dissuade you or discourage you from moving forward. Does that help? Does that resonate? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising sign as ever. If you're not sure how to do that, then you can follow the link below. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you can sign up for email notifications on when these are coming out. So the next Tarotscope won't be coming out until Taurus season. But do not worry, do not despair. There are plenty of videos coming out in between. So as ever, hit subscription and the notification bell to stay up to date with all of those. But until next time, I shall see you then. Bye for now.